Good evening and welcome to our Christingle for 2020. This year has been a really strange one, and I know you are used to doing things a little bit differently this year, and so Christingle is no different. We're all at home, but that doesn't stop us from doing some of the things that we normally do in our Christingle and crib service. So let's get started. Normally, we would run two services where this building is full. The crib service and the Christingle service are normally services where we are absolutely full of people ready to celebrate Christmas with carols and crafts and games. But this year, we all know has to be a little bit different. But I would love to know if you're here. So why not comment down below with a Merry Christmas to everybody who is watching this, whether it's on the night or later on. Let's see those comments and we'll hopefully be able to reply with them because we're watching along on the comments as they go. One of the things we love to do at Christmas time is to hear the nativity story. It's a story in the Bible about a very special baby being born. But this year, because we're combining the crib service and the Christingle service, we're going to find out that the nativity story is just the beginning of the life of an amazing man called Jesus, who is the light of the world. So let's watch this video to see the start of the journey of the little baby who grows up to be an amazing man called Jesus. You can follow along using the book that's in your pack. So let's start that video now.
It begins in Bethlehem, a nativity rhyme for Christmas time. A woman called Mary was doing her chores when an angel arrived, but not through the doors. He simply appeared, and she dropped to the floor. "Hello, Mary," he said. "God is with you." "God is with me," she wondered. "But what does that mean? What's this all about? Is it some kind of dream?" The angel just smiled. "Don't be scared. Please don't scream. God is happy with you and will bless you. God knocks down the proud and lifts up the meek and does mighty things for those who are weak and blesses the ones whose service he seeks. So sing out his praise. He's amazing. You'll soon have a baby," the angel went on. "A quite special baby called Jesus, God's son. The heir of King David, he'll sit on his throne and his kingdom will last forever." "But how?" Mary asked. "I don't understand. I'm engaged to be wed, but he's not yet my man." "Trust God," said the angel. "He's got it all planned. His spirit will come upon you." All night Joseph tossed, all night Joseph turned. He just couldn't sleep. He'd only just learned that Mary was pregnant. What's more, she'd confirmed that the baby she bore was not his. "Joseph, don't worry. Joseph, don't weep. Lay down your head and go back to sleep. Mary's been faithful. Her love's strong and deep. And her baby is God's own son. He's the answer to all that the prophets have said. So keep your engagement. Be glad and be wed." And when Joseph woke up, that's just what he did. He took Mary to be his wife. 1 hump, 2 humps. The star watchers watched the stars go by, looking for secrets in the sky. And then they saw a special star away in the west, away off far. A king's been born, that's what it means, Judea way, or so it seems. They climbed aboard their camely beasts and set off west from their homes back east. 1 hump, 2 humps, lumpity lump. The star watchers went with a bump and a thump. 1 hump, 2 humps, lumpity lump. The star watchers followed the star. At last their journey came to an end. They parked their camels in Jerusalem. Then they went to Herod, king of the nation, to ask him for some information. "O king," they asked, they were quite polite, "somewhere round here on this starry night, a brand new baby king abides. Can you tell us where this child resides?" "Star Watch's friends," King Herod smiled, "in Bethlehem you'll find the child. Would you tell me where you find him, please? The exact address would put my mind at ease." Herod, of course, told them a lie. He'd already planned for the child to die. When he found the boy, that's what he'd do, so the Star Watchers left without a clue. The shining star led them to the place, a simple house, not some fancy space. And when they saw the little boy, they gave him a pile of special toys. Presents, rather, fit for a king. A bunch of shiny golden things, a spice called myrrh, a sort of perfume, while smelling frankincense filled the room. Then in the night, they had a dream that showed them Herod's evil scheme. So they never said where the boy's house lay, but went straight home by another way. 1 hump, 2 humps, lumpity lump. The Star Watchers went with a bump and a thump. 1 hump, 2 humps, lumpity lump. The Star Watchers followed the star. So what is the point of angels and shepherds and camels and stars, you say? Is it just a nice story to tell to the children to celebrate Christmas Day? It's not just a story. It's not just for kids. It's the hinge on which history swings. That Bethlehem baby grew into a man who challenged all powers and kings. He taught us that love is better than hate, that serving beats being in charge. He showed us the value of each human life, the little as well as the large. And then on a cross, he died for us all, died to take all our wrongs away, and walked 3 days later right out of his tomb to turn death's dark night to day. And that is the good news the angels proclaimed. The heart of all Jesus would do. A new life for now, a new life forever. That's his Christmas present to you.
So let's sing about that amazing Christmas present that God has given us by singing a song that I know you all will know. It's Away in a Manger.
Stars in the bright sky, look down.
So we've heard about the start of Jesus' life. So let's make something that reminds us not just about the start of his life, but also that Jesus grew up and was the light of the world who brings joy in even the darkest of places. Before we get our packs out and start making a normal Christingle, I wonder if you could help me by playing a game, but because it would be a bit weird if I was stood here on my own playing a game, I'm going to get my crazy family at home involved, as well as you guys, who I would love to see in the comments which items you pick.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer.
Right, okay. So we've got a Christingle. And do we know that each part of the Christingle means something? So what do we think that the orange means? It means the world. And what about the red tape? That represents love and the love of Jesus. And the candle or the glow stick, what do you think that represents?
The light.
The light. Yeah, the light of the world, which is Jesus. And what do the 4 lots of cocktail sticks with the fruit on and the sweeties on mean?
I don't know.
You don't know? Those all mean...
Us?
Well, they are all the things that God has made, has given us, so all of the creation that God has made. But today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to make a Christingle out of something in our house. So the first thing in our Christingle...
An orange?
is an orange to represent the world. In the Bible, it told us that God made all things and God was pleased with what he had made. So, do you think we could go and find something that would represent the world? It could be round, or it could be a picture of the world, or it could be a pebble, or anything that's round. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to go and find it. 3, 2, 1, go! You must find an orange. Luca, what have you found?
A fan.
What have you found, Luca?
A fan.
A balloon. So now we've found that item, we're going to take just a second to think about the God's wonderful world that he made. And then think of all the creatures and the people and the pets that we know, and we thank God for those things. Now let's go back to my crazy family to find the next item, which is the red ribbon. So, and then the next part, what was it? Yeah. Put there. What was it? What was the next part? The next part is our ribbon, which represents love. So why don't we go and find something that is red or something that makes us think of love? I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Off you go. What have you got, Luca? You got a heart. That's a good idea. Naomi, what have you got?
A bauble.
A red bauble. Oh, that's great. So now we've got that red item, or that thing that makes us think of love, let's think about people that we love. So now let's go back to Naomi and Luca, who are going to find us something to represent the candle. The candle represents Jesus, the light of the world, who brings joy and hope to all. So find something that represent light to you. So it could be a decoration, a scented candle, a lamp, or a torch, or just a mobile phone with the light switched on. You've got 30 seconds. Off you go. What have you got? You've got a candle. That's a good one of light. And Luca, what have you got? A torch. So let's hold that torch and think about things that make us happy, because Jesus brings joy and hope to all, because he is the light of the world. So let's hold that thing that's in our hands and think about things that make us happy. And now, at this time of year, we also need to think about people who might be a little bit sad or might be lonely. Let's think about those people while we're holding our red item, or the things that reminds us of love. And what's the last thing on our Christingle, Naomi?
It's in the things that God made.
The things that God made. So why don't you go and find something that represents a good thing that God made? Could be food, it could be a favourite animal toy, or a plant. Go! So now we've got that, let's think about the things that we are grateful for. So that could be our favourite food or our favourite animal. Let's just think about those things and give thanks to God for those things. And also we think about those people who don't have enough food in our country and in our world, and we pray for those people who don't have enough food at this time. Amen.
Amen.
So that's enough for me, and I hope you've all got your makeshift Christingle. But now let's get our packs out, get our oranges out, and I'm going to hand you over to Jules, who's going to help us make our Christingle. If you're making one with the ribbon pack, with the ribbon in the pack, you will notice that you've got 5 cocktail sticks each. That's because if you use the 5th one to hold your ribbon together, it's a sneaky little trick of a pro Christingle maker.
Hello everybody, I'm here this afternoon to show you how to make a Christingle, and I've got one glorious one already made in my hands. Can you see the orange, the ribbon, and the sweets and the candle in the middle? Okay, I'm just going to place that down to one side, and we'll let that just burn there. So, what do we need to make a Christingle? Some of you may have got packs, Some of you may have got one or two bits gathered together already. So I'm just going to show you what you need to start with. Going to be handling food and sweets. So we'll start by washing our hands or sanitizing them as we do now in 2020. So quick clean of the hands. Oh, ribbon is dropping off that one, never mind. Just move that out of the way. So what do we need? Clearly, the biggest thing there is an orange. Got an orange, nice big orange, but you don't necessarily need a big one. You could have something slightly smaller, or you could just go with a satsuma, something even smaller. So if you've got some oranges around or some satsumas, choose an orange. Okay, I'm going to place them two out of the way and that one just to one side for a second. Once you've got an orange, you'll need some red ribbon. Okay, got some red ribbon there. You could use some insulating tape. Don't go into Dad's toolbox unless you've asked. I've also here got some parcel wrapping ribbon. You could use some of that. You could use red string. You could use red wool. Whatever you've got, as long as it's red and it'll go around an orange, that should be fine. Okay, move those back over there. You can see on the top we've got a candle. The one that's burning there brightly is just simply a household candle, like that one. You could also use, and probably my favourite, you could use, and my grandson has just had one, you could use birthday candles. Great thing about birthday candles is they come with little tiny holders that you can pop them into, and that could be useful later on. You could also use electric candles, little tiny electric ones, which you can find in a lot of shops that are selling Christmas decorations now, or glow sticks. We all know how to use a glow stick. Crack the top, and it'll glow in the dark. If you don't want to use a candle, or you consider candles to be a little bit too dangerous, they should always be supervised, but they can still be a little bit dangerous. The candle represents the light of Jesus in us, his people. So you could use a little tiny person to pop in the top if you wanted to. It's an idea for the very young. Okay, so what do we start with? We start with the orange that represents the world we live in. Okay, that's what the orange represents. And around the orange, we're going to wrap, I've got some red insulation tape here, so I'm going to wrap red insulation tape around the world. The red insulation tape, the red line, represents the life and the love of Jesus Christ, who wraps his love around us. There we go. Okay. Then we come to, oh, I missed something out just now. We need cocktail sticks as well. Cocktail sticks. And what goes on the cocktail sticks? Anybody who's done it before, of course, will know. We need some sweets. In here we've got some midget jams, we've got some dried fruit, you could have dolly mixtures, we've also got some Percy pigs, just a selection. Okay? So we take a cocktail stick and very carefully, hopefully you've bought soft sweets, which are advisable, so then you can slowly push the cocktail stick through the sweets. Just push one through there. Now the sweets represent all of God's gifts, God's creation, all of God's gifts that he's given us, all those things that we enjoy throughout the year. Put some dried fruit on the end, just like that. Okay, so all of those gifts that God has given us, he's given us the seasons. There's 4 seasons. Here's some I prepared earlier. four corners of the earth, all represented here by the sweets pressed on the cocktail sticks. There we go. So we've got the world surrounded by the love of Jesus, with all of God's gifts represented by the four seasons on the four corners of the earth. And then we're going to put the light of Jesus, the light of the world, into the middle. You could use one of those battery candles, or as I'm going to use, you could use a birthday candle. Okay, and once it's on top, we light it. Wherever I put the lighter, there's the lighter, and we just light the top. Very careful, we might need an adult, or certainly somebody who can do that safely for you. Okay, and then what I'm going to do then is I've just got a little bowl there because I'm just conscious that these do roll, so I'm going to place that little Christingle inside that bowl, and there we have it, a smaller version of that one, and there are my two Christingles. Happy Christingle, everybody. Bye for now.
So as we hold our Christingle, let's all sing and dance together about shining. Because we are told to not just know that Jesus is the light of the world, but also that we can shine and be different in the world. So let's sing about us shining from the inside out. Today we've got a special guest that we wouldn't normally get at St Helens Stroll. But that's what makes doing this online so cool, that today we get to welcome the Archbishop of Canterbury to talk to us about the Christingle that we've just made.
It's wonderful to be with you all. We don't know much about Christmas this year. It's going to be different. That we do know. But one thing is the same, because Christmas is different every year in every family, sometimes in happy ways, sometimes in sad ways. And that's why the Children's Society is around. And all over the world, children will be celebrating Christmas in all kinds of good ways and less good ways. Some in refugee camps and war, and others in lovely, secure places of warmth and comfort and love. But one thing never changes. However great the darkness, Christmas has at its heart the idea that the light of God comes into the world. The light of Christ comes into the world, into our lives, into the creation. That light is celebrated at the Christingle. In the darkness of winter days, it brings together churches, schools, and communities to celebrate the light that always overcomes the darkness. We make Christingles to symbolize the world. That's the point of the orange, because it's round and it's like the world. They have the fruit of the earth on them, all the good things that the world produces for us. And if you're sensible like me, you slowly eat the fruit on your Christingle through the service to give you energy, although you will be told that that is the wrong thing to do. They have a red band round them, which reminds us that Jesus came and died on the cross. It's the red band of the love of Jesus shown in the shedding of his blood on the cross. And they have a light, which is the light of Christ. And we light that light to say to ourselves, we will be light in the world. We'll be the presence of Jesus. One way in which that happens is that through the Christingle celebrations, which raise about £1.2 million a year for the work of the Children's Society, there is support given to some of the most vulnerable children and young people. Many of them are in very dark places, physically, spiritually, economically, lacking love and care, and the Children's Society comes in with light. And it's a light of warmth and hope. By taking part in your service, by helping the Children's Society, you're directly helping those children who need your help. I support passionately the work of the Children's Society. I want to thank them for what they do. And I want to thank you for being part of this service and for bringing the light of Christ to those who so desperately need it. I'm going to end with a little prayer, praying for this Christmas, for the light, for the Children's Society. Lord Jesus, light of the world, as I hold this Christingle and think about your great love for me and for those especially in places of darkness at this time, give me strength. Give us all strength to take this light into the world, to share your love with others, especially vulnerable children and young people. And we remember particularly before you the work of the Children's Society. Guard and bless them. Amen.
So thank you so much for joining us for our Christingle Service 2020. But if you've got a Christingle pack, there's loads more for you to do. Inside, there's loads of activities and instructions on which activities you can do. So you can do a few games, which is the Christingle Drive. So if you download a dice app or get a dice from one of the board games, and then you can roll your dice, cross or colour in every one, and the first one to get every part of their Christingle wins. Challenge all your family to play that one. Also, another one for everybody to play along with is our pin a candle on a Christingle. So cut that one out, get a bit of blue tack, and see how close you can get that candle to being in the right place in the Christingle. The other things that are in your pack as well are the Christingle colouring card. We would love you to colour that in, pop it in your window, and as you pop it in your window and holding your Christingle, say this prayer that's on the back, and then go around the village and see whether you can, how many of these cards you can spot in different people's window. You might want to do that as you're going around the Troll Angel Trail, starting outside of the church, and then there's loads of angels around the village. So get spotting for those, and of course the Christingle cards. The other things, last few things in your box, a little Christmas decoration that you can hang on your tree. The story that we heard today, maybe you would like to read through that again. It's even got some colouring pages as well inside of there. And then finally, because I know that you've already eaten all of the sweets off your Christingle, I can see that you've already eaten them. We've got some cloves as well, a bag of cloves. Now, on the screen now you'll see how really pretty you can make them, but also the cloves and the oranges together make a really Christmassy smell. So I'd love to see the pictures of that, how you transformed your Christingle. That's all we've got time for now, and we would love to see your pictures on Instagram, on Facebook, just either messages on Instagram or on Facebook, or tag us. And also, if you haven't got any social media, then pop us an email, trollchurch@gmail.com, and we would love to see those photos of you doing your crafts, your Christingles, and let's take some photos of everybody taking part in those games. We hope you have a fantastic Christmas and a brilliant new year, and we can't wait to welcome you back into our buildings in 2021 to be able to fill this building with songs and games and craft and praise to God. Hope you have a fantastic Christmas. Good night.